Hey YNR fans! Waving hand, welcome to YNR Trends, your go-to spot for the juiciest young and the restless updates, shocking spoilers, and all the drama you can't stop talking about. From surprise returns to scandalous twists, we break it all down for you, every day. So grab your coffee, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive right into Genoa City's hottest gossip. Though joy and grief are frequently interwoven in the fabric of human experience, few emotional textures are as intense and globally resonant as tragedy. From its rigorous, formal beginnings in ancient Greek theater, this idea has developed into a prevalent undercurrent in contemporary narrative, especially in the timeless genre of the daytime soap opera. A powerful and intricate illustration of modern sorrow can be seen in The Young and the Restless storyline, when Kyle Abbott is crushed to see his wife, Claire Grace, in a moment of intimate betrayal with his father, Holden Abbott. This scene is not just a startling plot twist intended to garner short-term viewership, rather, it is a painstakingly crafted sad tableau that uses traditional tragic tropes to examine the violent breakdown of trust, family, and identity. A public disgrace turns into a deeply personal catastrophe that permanently changes the lives of everyone concerned. The tragedy is not in the one act of adultery itself, but rather in the horribly private and visceral manner in which it is discovered. Understanding the fundamental tenets upon which Kyle's universe was constructed, pillars that are methodically destroyed in an instant, is necessary in order to completely comprehend the devastating weight of this incident. Kyle Abbott is descended from the wealthy and frequently turbulent Abbott dynasty by blood. His identity is intricately linked to ideas of father expectations, family legacy, and the never-ending quest for acceptance. A major and frequently tense aspect of his personality has been his connection with his father, Jack Abbott. It is a classic battle for respect and recognition in a strong family system. His marriage to Summer Newman symbolized a combination of hostile families, a hard-won stability, and a personal victory over past shortcomings and immaturities. Summer had already unmoored Kyle's world when she left Genoa City. He discovered a port in that storm in Claire, in addition to a new love. She offered him a second shot at redemption, a fresh start free from the complicated past. She was seen as sincere, compassionate, and apart from Genoa City's ruthless business and love arenas. Therefore, his trust in her was unwavering, his investment in their future a testimonial to his belief in having finally built a steady and honest path for himself. His emotional state's establishment serves as the tragedy's crucial preface. It is the apex from whence his unavoidable decline will be so precipitously sharp. Despite playing a less significant role in Genoa City's everyday affairs before this incident, Holden Abbott has his own sad weight and symbolic role. He represents a certain archetype as Kyle's father, the imperfect patriarch. Though it undoubtedly has elements of desire and greed, his return and his engagement with Claire cannot be seen as such. According to the tragic framework, his behaviors reveal a deeper flaw, possibly an unconscious yearning to regain a sense of masculinity, authority, or relevance that he believes has been lost due to time or circumstance. His desire to a woman who symbolizes freshness and a fresh start darkly and perversely reflects his son's own search. The cruelty and thematic richness of the betrayal stem from this analogy. It is more than just a betrayal between a husband and wife, it is a betrayal that implies a deep and repulsive psychological rivalry, a breach of the most sacred boundaries that delineate familial roles and divide generations. Holden turns into the tragedy's agent, the one whose hamartia, his terrible moral failure, his catastrophic error in judgment, starts the unstoppable sequence of events. His behavior serves as the impetus that will ruin not only his son's happiness but also his reputation, his bond with his child, and any last sense of self-respect. By using a voyeuristic intimacy that is far more devastating than any public revelation could possibly be, the moment of discovery itself is a masterwork in contemporary tragic staging. Kyle must bear first-hand witness to the physical act of his betrayal. He does not learn of the affair via a gossip or a misplaced text message. This is an important difference. The ekaklima, a wheeled platform that extends from the skein, was frequently used by the ancient Greeks to depict the results of violent crimes that were perpetrated off-stage, such as murders and suicides. The custom is reversed here. Kyle becomes the viewer of his own personal horror show when the heinous crime itself is displayed. There is no place for denial, no ambiguity, and no filter. The evidence is unavoidable, visceral, and acute. This approach to discovery makes the most of the peripeteia, or the unexpected turn of events. Kyle's perception of his father, his wife, and his entire world is completely upended in a single, terrifying look. His future, his emotional stability, and his wealth are not just turned around, they are completely destroyed. The tragedy is exacerbated by the act's privacy. It is a secretly inflicted wound, a torment so deep and alienating that it instantly divides him from the outside world. One of the main causes of his misery is the fact that he is alone with his knowledge. The interior sorrow is fully externalized in the immediate aftermath, which is Kyle's destruction. This is the audience's emotional catharsis, the point at which the tension and fear that have been building are let out through a shared experience of his obvious suffering. He probably reacts with a silent, smothering shock rather than a loud, showy rage, but anger may surface. Aristotle recognized this realization, or anagnorisis, as a crucial element of tragedy. The protagonist transitions from ignorance to knowing at this tragic moment of reality. This information could end Kyle's life. His bodily collapse, his disorientation, his speechlessness, and his expression of complete desolation is a performance of a soul being dismembered. Every assurance given, every precious moment spent with Claire, and every bit of counsel or companionship his father offers are all immediately reframed into a hideous falsehood. In a single moment, his entire past is altered, leaving him a stranger in his own existence. Since it concerns the betrayed's response rather than the betrayer's actions, this is the pivotal moment in the tragedy. The audience may relate to the universal terror of such a betrayal since it is a genuine, untainted portrayal of human suffering. The tragic implications of this occurrence reach well beyond Kyle's immediate anguish, radiating outwards to undermine the fundamental fabric of the family unit, another cornerstone of classical tragedy. Despite its dysfunctions, the Abbott family is a fundamental institution in Genoa City, representing corporate power, old money stability, and a deep sense of devotion. This institution is being directly attacked from within by Holden's activities. It breaks the covenant between a father and son, which is based on protection, direction, and unwavering support. Holden violates a fundamental transgression against the natural order by having an affair with his son's wife. He becomes a rival, an equal in the most demeaning contest possible. The entire family structure is affected by this. It forges unworkable alliances, compels other family members to take sides, and tarnishes the Abbott name for all time with the most heinous scandal. As a result, the catastrophe cannot be contained. It is a virus that spreads to all those in contact with it. Her deeds ruin Claire as well. She is complicit in the damage and is made a pariah, her identity permanently branded by this one fatal mistake in judgment, whatever of her motivations, vulnerability, manipulation, or a really terrible flaw of her own. Her decline from favor is as dramatic, turning her from a cherished person into a target of contempt and sympathy. In addition, the tragedy's unavoidability and lack of a tidy conclusion only serve to heighten it. There is no room for a fast repair or a simple apology in true sorrow. The image cannot be unseen, the information cannot be unlearned. For Kyle, things can never be the same again. Every future relationship, every encounter with his father, and every instance of trust he could try to show someone else will be plagued by the ghost of this incident, which will become a defining trauma. It radically changes the course of his character, making him start over from the ashes of who he was before. It recognizes that certain wounds are too deep to heal completely and that some betrayals leave a permanent before and after. This is the lingering, pessimistic force of tragedy. The protagonists are sentenced to a lifetime of suffering and recollections as a result of their actions. Because it is so visceral, so genuine, and so impervious to narrative trickery, a tragedy of this kind maintains its impact in the world of a soap opera, where amnesia, returns from the dead, and retconned histories are all too common. In a sea of theatrical story elements, it serves as a beacon of real human sorrow. In conclusion, Kyle's heartbreaking moment of witnessing Claire and Holden betray each other is a potent piece of contemporary tragedy that goes beyond its role as a soap opera scandal. The hamartia of the main characters who betray him, the peripetia of the voyeuristic discovery, the construction of a heroic and hopeful protagonist, and the profound enigmasis and catharsis of Kyle's catastrophic reaction are all masterfully used in this work. The tragedy is exacerbated by the breach of holy familial ties, which guarantees that its damaging effects spread and ruin a whole family structure. Most significantly, it encapsulates the core of tragedy's timeless appeal, its unwavering analysis of the depths of human pain and its recognition that certain deeds have irrevocable, permanently altering effects. Because it touches on universal anxieties of betrayal, the brittleness of trust, and the horrifying ease with which the imperfections of people closest to us may destroy an apparently stable world, this novel strikes a chord. This incident is not merely a narrative point in the vast, continuous fabric of the young and the restless, rather, it is a raw and lasting wound that demonstrates the genre's everlasting ability to delve into the most sad and dark recesses of the human heart. According to teasers for The Young and the Restless, viewers might see a new mystery, some turmoil on date nights, and the exile of the GC. Let's talk about some impending twists and turns because YNR has some fascinating tale developments coming soon. 1. Kyle might still have to leave town due to his contract. The first is that Kyle Abbott's contract will undoubtedly be used again. In the August 28th episode, Victor Newman was asked to tear it up by Jack Abbott, but he naturally declined. This is because Victor is aware that if Kyle betrays Claire Newman, he could be forced to leave Genoa City and take $5 million from him. Given the situation, Victor is wise to keep that contract, and he will soon be happy he did. Victor might strike back at Kyle because there will undoubtedly be more Claire destruction to come. This might ultimately result in Kyle's expulsion as GC and deal a serious financial hit. Though things could appear dire for a while, there will undoubtedly be a plan to retain Kyle on the program in the end. Victor might give Kyle the order to leave town as he promised, but perhaps Jack could find a way to help, or Claire, in spite of her heartbreak, could step in. 2. The much-anticipated date for Kane and Lily. Lily Winters was clearly impacted by Kane Ashby's touching video and is yearning for another opportunity with him. Are we witnessing the beginnings of Lily's barriers collapsing? Although Kane caused Lily great pain, she will always harbor feelings for him. Will Lily eventually accept that aspect of herself and consent to at least one date with Kane? Kane may get Lily to go on a date with him and see where it could take them, even though she might not be prepared for a full-fledged reconciliation. It is possible, though, that this memorable evening will end tragically. Lily's trust issues aren't going away anytime soon, and she will continue to be afraid of her emotions. If Kane isn't careful, he might say or do something inappropriate and ruin this, thus any upcoming date could be dramatic. 3. The mystery woman's motivation for coming to GC. The majority of the information surrounding Tamara Braun's upcoming fall debut as Sienna Bacall are being kept under wraps. Why is this enigmatic Sienna traveling to Genoa City, and who is she? It would be interesting to see who Sienna knows and what kind of agenda she will bring with her, because she will have some personal connections throughout the community. Given Braun's skill at conveying a scary, bad girl image, Sienna might be trouble.